Viewers, it's official. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is no more because he was assassinated in one of the most lethal strikes launched by U.S. and Israel in their joint operation. And this has been confirmed by Iran as well, because Iran has now officially announced a 40-day mourning period to condole the death of their Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed in Israeli and U.S. strikes just yesterday. And today what we are seeing is contrasting emotions, outpouring of grief and also happiness on one side, because people in Iran and across the world have given out mixed emotions. While on one side you can see people mourning the demise of Ali Khamenei, on the other you can see people celebrating the end of the repressive regime. A 40-day public mourning period has been announced. Khamenei was killed in Israel and U.S. strikes launched in the heart of Tehran yesterday. While U.S. President claims that now Iran has a chance at diplomacy, he claimed it is easier now for a diplomatic solution than it was a day earlier. But Iran, on the other hand, has vowed to retaliate strongly, and that is being witnessed across West Asia, because for the second consecutive day, Doha and Dubai have witnessed explosions. But it wasn't just Khamenei who was eliminated, viewers. The IDF has confirmed the killing of several members of Iran's security leadership, including top defense official Ali Khamenei and the commander of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Ali Khamenei, a former IRGC Navy chief and also an Iranian army chief and a top advisor to Iran's Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Mohammad Pakpor, the commander of the IRGC. The IDF also claims that Pakpor was responsible for missile and drone attacks on Israel, Salah Assadi. On the other hand, the chief of intelligence in Iran's military emergency headquarters and the senior intelligence officer of Iran's armed forces general staff. And another top leader who has been eliminated is Mohammad Shirazi, the chief of Khamenei's military bureau since 1989. So it's almost about 37 years he's been with Ali Khamenei, and along with him was Aziz Nasirzadeh, Iran's Minister of Defense and a former Chief of Iranian Air Force and Deputy Chief of Staff. Hossein Jebel Ali, Chairman of SP and the Research and Development Agency of Iran's Ministry of Defense, even he has been eliminated. Reza Mozaffari Nia, a former Chairman of SPND, has also been killed. Now, let's tell you how it all started, viewers. In a sweeping military campaign, on February 28th, the U.S. and Israel launched coordinated air and missile strikes deep inside Iran, hitting a string of strategic locations across the country as part of what U.S. and Israeli officials describe as efforts to degrade Tehran's military and nuclear capabilities. And among the major cities struck was Urmia in the northwest, where explosions were reported near military infrastructure as long-range strike aircraft and cruise missiles pushed into Iran's interior. In Kermanshah, western Iran, saw blasts in areas associated with missile storage and launch facilities, highlighting the breadth of the attack beyond the capital region. Strikes also rocked Qom, a focal point of Iran's nuclear program, with explosions reported near deeply buried enrichment infrastructure in the province. And in the heart of the central Iran, Isfahan, long identified with nuclear research and missile production, was also hit, sending smoke rising above strategic industrial sites. Further south, even port regions were not spared. Shiraz experienced impacts near regional bases, and the key port city of Chabahar on the Gulf of Oman saw explosions that showed the reach of the strikes to Iran's maritime infrastructure. And across these locations, satellite imagery and eyewitness reports showed plumes of smoke and signs of heavy damage at military, nuclear, and even command centers. The operation struck not only critical facilities, but also areas linked to Iran's leadership and also defense apparatus, marking one of the most extensive military assaults on Iranian territory in decades. But let's tell you what's happened in the past 24 hours. It was all about Iran's retaliation, because it has launched coordinated missile and drone strikes across West Asia. In retaliation to U.S. Israel strikes, air defense systems were activated across the region as multiple strategic targets came under direct fire of Iran. In Qatar, missiles were launched towards Al Udeid Air Base, a major U.S. military hub. Interceptors lit up the skies over Doha, with loud explosions also reported. Meanwhile, in Kuwait, Iranian missiles targeted Ali Al Salim Air Base, debris from intercepted drones also caused panic near Kuwait International Airport. Meanwhile, in the UAE, there were air raid alerts in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Missile debris killed one civilian in Abu Dhabi, while explosions were reported near Dubai's skyline, including areas very close to the world's tallest building, that is the Burj Khalifa. Meanwhile, in Bahrain, strikes hit areas linked to the U.S. Fifth Fleet in Manama, with thick smoke and sirens reported. Israel also came under sustained missile and drone fire, triggering air raid sirens across cities, including Tel Aviv, as defense systems intercepted the incoming missiles from Iran. And in Iraq, U.S. military bases were also targeted, prompting high alert responses, though damage details remain very, very limited. Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, reported explosions in Riyadh, while Jordan intercepted multiple missiles and drones with sirens sounding in Amman. Let's understand what's really panning out in West Asia. We have Major General SVP Singh, retired strategy and defense expert. Along with we have Surinder Singh Lali, foreign affairs expert. A very good afternoon to you, gentlemen. Firstly, Major General SVP Singh, what do you make of the situation in West Asia? Is there an end in sight, or is this going to be a long-drawn conflict?
Well, to end of this operation is nowhere in sight. You see, this is going to be a medium to long-term affair, because what the US and Israel have done jointly is, once again, having carried out the preemptive, a repeat of the deception which they did in the 12-day war which preceded it. Talks were on, that time and US attacked. Right now, again, the same thing has happened. The talks were on and US has jointly attacked with Israel. So it's a repeat of that. Now, how can there be an end in sight at the moment when their spiritual leader, the Supreme Leader, has been killed? And there's an equal divide in the state of Iran of sympathizers of Khamenei, the clergy regime, as well as of those who want it to be replaced because of their oppressive and very harsh rule which they had carried out or are carrying out. So with that in mind, I feel that America and Israel will continue with their military operation, and Iran will continue to retaliate with their missile and drone weapon systems which they have. Now, what has happened this time around, since 2020, when Qasem Soleiman was killed, Iran did activate themselves. Now, this time in 2025, they retaliated with missiles on Israel. It took them some time. But this time on, the retaliation from Iran is a very well-planned one. They have not only retaliated against Israel, but they have retaliated or cut across the Middle East kingdoms, which are there supporting US and allowing the US military bases there. Now, there's a messaging from Iran in this regard to the Muslim nations. Maybe it is a Shia-Sunni divide, but the greater message is that the West is against your civilization, against your religion. And so wake up. And now they have targeted right now only the military bases set up by the United States. It's a bigger message, particularly to the kingdoms in the Arab and the Gulf world. So I feel that Iran will continue. And right now, what we are going to see, I would say we have to divide it into phase-wise. The next 72 hours are the ones which Iran in Tehran has to consolidate itself. Now, to the forefront will be the IRGC in this regard. You see, it is securing the city of Tehran, setting up their passage, and the IRGC forces for the internal security. They will now further tighten up their security, the forces on their nuclear installations. So this will be around to ensure there is no internal strife or rising once again, which has taken place. I feel there will be a high-handed suppression on the part of IRGC. Now, what phase Iran is going through right now? You see, it is going to be now, I feel, a collective leadership for some time. What is being predicted is that Mujtaba Khamenei, second son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is likely to take over. But then there is a IRGC, which has been very powerful with Ali Khamenei also in the past few years. So they will have a major say. And I think the governing council in which Pezeshkian, the president, is there, would be the moderating factor whose voice would also be heard by the IRGC and the spiritual world. Now, America, what they're going to continue to do is military installations, nuclear installations, ballistic missile installations are going to continue to be targeted. But they are also going to target the political leadership, the judiciary, the nuclear energy experts and researchers, and as well as other top think tanks who can influence influencers in Iran so that propaganda warfare will be combined by America and Israel, that they try to spread the strife and the rising of those who were anti-Khamenei. So that is the position right now. It's a very delicate position because what Iran has done now, it is an extension of this war into a regional war, which is going to be very, very dangerous for the world. Since oil also, Hormuz, the tankers have stopped, though Hormuz Straits by itself right now has not been uh, no stopping of oil or of services there. So I feel that we are in a very delicate spot, not only regionally but the world. And for India, the oil supplies disruption will be a major stake.
General Singh, the point that you highlighted that now in the interim, in the absence of Ali Khamenei, there is an interim leadership that has been put in place, which includes President Pezeshkian, along with the chief of the judiciary and also one of the jurist members of the Guardian Council. So, Mr. Lali, who essentially calls the shots? Is it the IRGC or is it this special council that has been appointed to share interim duties?
Thank you, Deepak. Deepak, that's a very tough question to answer, even if I knew, because the moment the Iranians publish or exhibit who's calling the shot, the Israelis might go and take them out. So that's a billion-dollar question, because you have to give it to the American and the Israeli intelligence. They pretty much know what they're doing. In a CIA, that way, does a great job penetrating into any country. And I think it's a bit early to comment who's controlling and how it's going to pan out, because the jury is out on this one. I mean, even if you see both America and the Iranian forces, they are not going full out as of now. There is a strategy to weigh in the way even the Iranian forces are operating by sending, by trying to regionalize this issue and not exposing what all they have, because not only are the communications down, and the moment communications come up, Israel is probably the best in the world to identify the target. And not only is the leadership not in touch, but even otherwise, the Iranians and the IRGC trying to play it by the ear, because if they come out and expose themselves, then America, which has not really come out in the open in that manner, is wanting to unload the American might on Iran. So I think it's a bit early to comment, because as I said, that the jury is out on this one. But let me tell you one more thing, that from my only concern is that it's not even just for how long this conflict will take place, but what happens, weeks and months later. I mean, where is Afghanistan today? Where is Iraq today? Where is Libya today? So my concern is a lot larger, that how is this going to pan out? Because Donald J. Trump thinks that this might be, another Maduro, where he can do a surgical strike and implant the second leadership. Iran is far more complex and far more dynamic and far more sectarian, and not to mention, this is the holy month, and Iran is trying to involve, as General Saab said before me, the other Muslim nations too. So this can turn in any direction, depending on how it pans itself out. I mean, is Delcy Rodriguez going to be the next? I mean, the way they implanted Delcy Rodriguez, is this how the next president is how they're going to install. So you don't know, because I'm definitely sure that there is more to what the America, the deep state, the Mossad, and the CIA have created a second line, which they will probably only publish once they feel that they have tied IRGC out.